This is Bold TV. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another beautiful Saturday morning. And we are live here on Bold TV. We are here once again to inform and educate you on topics that revolve around disabilities, specifically women with disabilities. I'd also like, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'd like to inform you that Bold TV is powered by Bold Hearts Initiative, a network of beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities. And we address issues that are gender specific for women with disabilities. So today we are here once again to address another relevant and timely topic. So today we'll be talking about personal leadership. We are grateful to our online audience for always tuning in and listening in. We appreciate your presence with us. And would also like to say that if you want to be part of what we do, either supporting us financially or being a discussant on the program, you can reach out to us. The website, the email address, and every information you need will be scrolling down the screen. And you can also reach out to any of the co-hosts, myself, Saki, Constance, Tomisin, and Freki. So please do well to reach out to us if you have any questions. Drop your comments, and we look forward to hearing from you. So now we go into our topic. That before we do so, I'd like my fellow discussants to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, ladies. I remain Osaki Teresa George. I reside in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, work with Freke Foundation, member of Bold Heart Initiative, polio survivor, and an advocate for persons with disabilities. These are the few I can describe about myself there. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Constance Onyemichi. I reside in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. I work for Women and Girls with Albinism Network. I'm a member of Bold Hearts Network and a lady with albinism. I advocate, create awareness on the rights of women and girls with albinism in Nigeria. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Feels good to be here once again. My name is Oluwatomi Sniadeyefa, a broadcast journalist based in Abeokuta, the state capital of Ogun. I'm a broadcast journalist, like I said, a visually impaired person. I'm also a gender and disability rights advocate, a sound engineer, amongst a host of other things. Feels good to be here once again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Freki Andresian. I'm based in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, Idifeka Foundation. Use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. I'm a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And finally, our guest, or before the final introduction, I'd like our guest to introduce herself.
Okay. My name is Patience. Patience Itimodo is my name. I live in Asaba, Delta State. And I'm a legal practitioner. I work with the state Ministry of Justice. So I'm a lawyer with the state Ministry of Justice.
Okay, what's your type of disability?
Mobility.
Okay.
Yes. Mobility.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome. And finally, I will introduce myself. My name is Afeom Etem. I am medical lab scientist. I'm based in Uyo. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury and a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. I will be your host for today. All right. So let's move on to our topic for the day. Now, my first question, the topic says personal leadership.
most of us have an idea of what leadership is. But when we now attach that word personal leadership, what does that mean to you? For you, what do you consider personal leadership? All right, so Tomisin, I'll start with you.
Personal leadership for me is a combination of two things. First is oneself, and the second is ability to lead. And so when we now put those two things together, it means the ability to lead oneself. Now, before you come out and say you want to lead a multitude of people, you yourself must have direction. You must have a sense of where you are going as a person. You must have that sense of emancipation. You must have realized yourself one way or the other. And that would inform your choice of those you also want to lead, or the kind of way or direction through which you want to lead them through. So that for me is personal leadership, the ability to guide, to direct, to realize and create yourself is what personal leadership is.
For me, my understanding of personal leadership is being in charge of your own self, taking charge of the things that concern you as an individual and also your responsibilities. Identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, your whole you, things that make you up. And also when you identify these things, being able to take charge or change some of these things. So it's in simple parlance, for me, it means being in charge of yourself. Thank you.
Okay, so you and Tomisin have actually helped to identify some keywords there. Means talks about leadership and self, and also being in charge. More often than not, when we think of leadership, we think of it in terms of other people. You're leading other people, but first and foremost, before you can apply those skills on others, personal leadership requires you to be able to conquer your own weaknesses, build on your strengths to be able, so that you are able to develop yourself to a point where you are able to manifest what you desire to see in others. All right, thank you, ladies, for helping us to lay that foundation. So now I'm going to ask, why is it so important at this time for us to be talking about this? Why is it so important for us to be talking about personal leadership? So I'll start with you, Freki.
All right, thank you very much. So why is it important? If you are in the Nigerian environment, you know that there's been a lot of civic engagement or civic exercising of civic rights with respect to selection of our leaders in protecting the democratic process. Also, if you're also in the world, you know that a few days ago, we celebrated the International Women's Day. At the end of the day, a lot of these causes or actions speak to people leading other persons. But the reality is this: you cannot lead others if you do not lead yourself. So I believe that even taken from those immediate activities and actions happening within the Nigerian context and globally, we can begin to see that in speaking to issues, there is a need for personal leadership. One, being able to lead themselves, being situationally aware, being self-aware, for others to even follow you. So when you are speaking to embracing equity, the question will be, are you embracing equity? Speaking to dealing with issues of corruption, are you a corrupt person? So trying to shed the light on ourselves is important if we want to move forward or advance in society as a whole. So yes, in the current times as a Nigerian, it is important. The global context, it is important. And really for anyone in your workplace, in exercising, anything that you're doing, you must always shed that light back on yourself. You don't want people to lead or to lead people when you cannot even lead yourself. So thank you very much. That's my response.
All right. Thank you so much. So it all starts with the values that you have. Personal leadership centers around your values. So you cannot tell somebody else that this is how you want them to be. You can't pass instruction without, first of all, being a model of that particular value we expect to see in others. Because whether we like it or not, people will mirror what they see. So if you're not actually showing that, today we are agitating for change, and that is one of the things we don't see. First of all, it starts with us. You change, and then other people can hold other people accountable. Barrister Tumudon, can you add to that? Why is personal leadership, talking about it, important at this time? Unmute yourself, please. Unmute your microphone first.
Okay, like she earlier said, it's on mute. I've unmuted it. So like
yes.
The last speaker said, we are at a very critical stage right now, not just in Nigeria, but I'll say in the world, all over the world. A critical stage in the sense that outside the spheres of Nigeria now or Africa, we see a lot of things going on. We see, okay, they're talking about gay rights and LGBT and the rest of it, and we're seeing people being, is it coerced now? Can I use the word coerced into what they don't want to be, like right from when they are kids. Children are now being forced to accept they are not supposed to be, all in the name of freedom, all in the name of freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the rest of it. Then we're bringing it down home to Nigeria. We are battling with a lot of things, battling with leadership crisis, battling with corruption, like you said, battling with issues of integrity, battling with a failing economy, and a lot of other things that are going on all around us. Now, if you've not been able to identify who you are and define who you are, of course, you'll be easily carried away by what is happening all around you. Now, if you do not have that, for instance, how do I put it now? If you are not someone who already has integrity, for instance, it is very easy for you to get swayed and you become who you are not, all in a bid to make ends meet, or in a bid to become, to be there, to belong, and to start behaving like every other person. So if you look at all these things, you find out that it is at this critical stage in the world, in our lives, and in our nation. It is very, very important that you are able as an individual to define yourself, because it is when you have defined yourself as a person that you're able to influence other persons around you, that you're able to correct some of the anomalies you are seeing all around you.
So thank you so much for what you've shared. Your points have been very, valid and relevant. You've mentioned, having an identity. Frecky said earlier about self-awareness. You cannot lead yourself if you do not even know who you are. You don't understand yourself. So these are key. This is the very foundation of being able to lead yourself, to take charge of yourself. Because you will now, when you have self-awareness, you know who you are, you know what you are capable of, you know what you need and what you do not need. And therefore it is difficult, for you to now indulge in unethical practices. All right, so let's move on to the next question. And in this question, I'd like you to, go around everybody. So I'm going to say, start with you, Osaki. In what ways, does personal leadership enhance the quality of life, especially for women with disabilities? How does personal leadership help to enhance their quality of life?
Okay, thank you very much. From all the contributions so far, from what the ladies have said concerning personal leadership, one of the ways I would say it allows me to face my fears. It's still boiled into taking charge and being responsible. So the moment you take charge of a particular project or thing, you see your strength and you see your weakness, and you know how to manage your weakness at the same time. Your strength is like a plus to you, so you know how to handle it. And also it gives you that room for boldness that leads into perfection of whatever you know you're going to do better and have a result of productivity. So I think that it's a way of creating room for growth and courage. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Boldness, courage, growth. All right, Constance, you want to add to that? Let's hear your opinion. In what way does the personal leadership enhance the quality of life for women with disabilities?
Okay, so for me, the ways personal leadership enhance the quality of life. First of all, I would say it makes us set goals that we want to achieve, and it helps us overcome our fears, identify and overcome our fears, and also be able to manage the situation or wherever we find ourselves. It also makes us, I'll speak for myself now, question things, because I know that growing up, the idea we had before about disability and what we have now is not the same. And that came as a result of questioning. We had to question a lot of things where disability moved from the charity model to the medical, to the social, and now to the human rights model. So it was as a result of questioning, and personal leadership brought about these changes. I think that's all I have to add. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So it's quite, it does a real mind reset. Tomisin, let's hear you.
Okay, personal leadership, one of the roles it performs in the lives of women and girls with disabilities would be bringing out the real you in you. So it helps you find your footing, as it were. It helps you maintain balance because, you are focused. You already have a direction. And so you are looking at that direction and your mind is there, your being is there. You are walking towards that particular direction. And so, it helps to maintain balance. It helps you to also kind of reassess and continually assess your existence. Because, if you do not have direction, you can't access anything. It means that you are just there. You are just living. You are just probably just breathing, as it were. So personal leadership gives you that sense of, yourself. It makes you feel within yourself. And it also helps you to be able to pull others. You can't give what you don't have, You cannot, if you don't have something, you don't have it. But when you have it, because you have it, you are willing to share with others. You're willing to also help others have it. So personal leadership puts you in that position where you are able to pull others up. You are able to give others a sense of direction. You are able to also help them find their footing. And that in turn gives you a sense of fulfillment as a leader in your own right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Authenticity, identity, as well as also improving your leadership skills. All right, Freki.
All right, thank you very much. So, for a woman with disability, one of the things that personal leadership can help you do is to help you find purpose in yourself, because the world has boxes and it's easy to put you in either a gender box or a disability box. But if you're able to define your purpose outside of those spaces, what personal leadership can do is to help you to define your purpose and live your purpose. Personal leadership for women with disabilities or persons with disabilities generally can help you to live a disciplined life. Because as a person with disability, we find that we're able to hit milestones with a lot of self-discipline. We need to work on ourselves, we need to develop ourselves, and that comes from a place of serious self-discipline. So when you're working towards developing personal leadership, it's very beneficial Another one is personal growth, personal and professional growth. Personal leadership is one of the things that has really helped in the area of that, because when you see where you are, you begin to see where you want to be, and you begin to work towards it. And these are a lot of benefits for women with disabilities. I think for me especially, is not allowing people to put you in a box. You're defined by purpose, and then you begin to work through it, for it, and you're better off as a human being, as a whole. So I'll mention those. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for those key points. You've mentioned self-discipline, which is, for me, it's the core of personal leadership. Self-discipline, personal and professional growth, because if you cannot even take charge of yourself and stay disciplined and focused, there is no way you will be able to achieve much. So, Barrister Tumudon, please, let's hear from you.
So for me, the first thing I want to talk about is determination. Now, as a person living with disability, if you are not a determined person, your world starts crumbling from that place. You must have that determination to live, that zeal to live. So if you are able to inculcate all that in you, you grow yourself, like everyone has said. You grow yourself. Grow get to define who you are, set your boundaries, you know your limits, you know your space, you know what you can do and what you cannot do, and you pursue those things. Before you know it, you are already breaking barriers, the barriers of stereotypes that are all around us. For instance, I remember once like that, I had one occasion like that. It was supposed to be quite an embarrassing situation. I was just walking down the road or so. No, I was seated, trying to wait for a cab that I could. Someone just came and dropped money there. Maybe the person thought I was actually begging. And I said, no, please, can you take your money? I'm not a beggar. I don't need it. Then sometimes you are just walking down the road, or trying to climb the stair. Walk up a flight of stairs, and someone is telling you, though we are very good with that language in the South here, especially for us in Delta. They are telling you that, and what I tell them is, no, don't tell me though. What you do is, if you see me, for instance, I'm struggling with a bag, you pick my bag up or ask me, can I help you with your bag? That is what you should do. So when you have this in you, when you have been able to develop your own, how do I put it now? You'll be able to develop yourself to that level. You'll be able to also influence those around you. You break those stereotypes that are around you, the stereotypes that makes people who see you as a wheelchair user, or, as a person living with disability, the first thing they start seeing is, oh, this person needs help, or this person is a beggar, or this person is a charity case. You are able to disband that stereotype. You're able to break barriers that are all around you, the barriers that make you feel that you cannot be who you are, or that you are less of a human because you have a disability you're struggling with, or you're going through. Like I always tell people, disability, it could be an illness. Yes, it could be an illness, because sometimes it arises from illnesses also. But it is not in every situation that it is an illness, or rather, over time, it becomes a way of life, and you should be, as much as possible, respected as much as the other person who does not, in quotes, suffer from any disability. So for me, some of these things that will help you, like they listed already, it's integrity. If you have that, of course, you can do a lot of things. Then discipline, self-discipline, which can also help you to surmount a lot of challenges that are around you. Then determination, courage. For me, courage is the number one thing, because if you have that courage, you can walk up even to the president of any nation and tell him, okay, these are the things I think will help my case, or help me as a person that is living with disability. And then, because it is inside of you and you are trying to express it and it's coming out, it will also influence all those people who are around you, who see you, and then they'll start taking you very seriously. And before you know, they are already telling you, oh, you should be able to influence others around you, and you are truly doing that. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Some of the points you brought up, apart from highlighting what has been said before, you've also brought up the issue of, having the boldness, knowing your limits, and also,
Right.
being confident enough to know when to ask for help, and knowing, how to move forward despite, whatever challenges you may face. So finally, before I move on, I'm just going to say one thing, that personal leadership helps you identify your strengths and weaknesses. More often than not, women with disabilities often tend to focus on their weaknesses and do not, realize the strengths that are inherent in them. They don't realize the potential they have, because all their life, all that has ever been, brought to their notice has always been the weaknesses, what they can't do, what they need help with. People rarely tell you, oh, you can do this is what you can do, you can move past this. So personal leadership will help you to identify, because when you have self-awareness, you will know this is what I can do. And then even the ones you may have difficulty with, you now know how to seek help to help you accomplish them. All right, so now we're going to move to our final question for this episode, and for this it's going to be more of a practical step. So each person will address at least one particular method or way in which a woman with disability can begin this journey of personal leadership, at least just one, so that everybody can go have a say. One way, one method, preferably something you have done for yourself that helps you, that can help a woman with disability out there to begin to adopt personal leadership as a lifestyle. All right, so I'm going to start with your Saki.
Thank you very much. One way a lady with disability can adapt to personal leadership is one, keep learning and be a good listener. Thank you.
All right, keep learning. We cannot overemphasize that. Keep learning. Many of us think, oh, I'm too old. No, please, keep learning. Tommy.
All right, thank you very much. From my own personal experience is being solution-oriented. Okay, as a woman with a disability, it's easy for us to always dwell on the problem. It's easy for us to always dwell on the challenges. It's easy for us to make excuses from the hurdles of life. But one thing I've discovered is that people who stick to their problems don't move past it. And so as a woman with disability, on your journey of personal leadership, be solution-oriented. See past the problem, because these problems would always come. Even to the most beautiful, even to the richest, even to the people without disabilities, challenges, hurdles would always come. So what you do is, when life or when situation throws lemon at you, be prepared to make lemonade. And in fact, if you can make orange juice out of lemon, all well and good. So be solution-oriented. Always look at the positive side of events and situations. Thank you.
All right, solutions. The world needs solution providers. All right, Barrister Tumodon, let's hear you. One way.
Okay. For me, get yourself a career or a trade. You can't come to someone and you're talking about personal leadership, or you're trying to boost the person's confidence without you doing that to yourself. One thing I've learned in life is that you having either a trade that you are doing to earn a living from, or having a job or a career per se, builds your self-confidence first and foremost. You can surmount at least more than half of the problems that come your way. You'll be able to, because you interact with people on a regular basis. As a result of what you do, it builds your confidence. It builds a lot of things. It builds your determination. It builds your courage. So at the end of the day, you find that just having that can expand your horizon and help you to achieve your whatever you want to achieve, whatever you have set your mind at, and the goals you want to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So find some form of engagement, something legitimate that can also, because yes, we are talking about providing solution. Everything you put your hands to do must be an answer to a particular need in society. That's what it means. So find something to do because it boosts your confidence levels to no end. All right, Constance.
Yeah, thank you, Afio. So for me, on the journey to personal leadership, get yourself a mentor, someone you can talk to, someone you respect, someone you look up to, and who can also guide you on the right path. Thank you.
All right, very key. Mentorship. You don't know everything. You will need help. So get the help that you need. Find somebody who has gone ahead of you, who is doing well in the area you want to, go into, so that they can guide you and help you overcome those hurdles that would delay you. You will do yourself a huge service. All right, Preki.
Okay, so for me, I would say have a plan. You can't sit on your oars and expect things to come to you. When you have that plan, you must take action towards the plan that you have. And I'm not saying conquer the world, it's one step at a time. And finally, I would say please build a lot of resilience. I've seen people who want to do stuff and then they think because of the intent that everything will come easily. That is not the world we live in. So even if you set plans, you're working towards your plans, you build the resilience that does not allow you to give up in becoming better. And while the destination is very important, trust me, the process adds a lot of value. So don't diminish your processes. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Resilience. We can't, overemphasize that. Resilience. There's nothing that is more needed on this journey of disability than that. Because if you can't, you don't know how to pick yourself up every time you fall, then you will remain down. And if there's anything that happens so much on this journey, it is falling down, and you will fall many times. So if you don't know how to pick yourself up and then find a way to just keep going, then I'm sorry, you are as good as no longer, living. So resilience is key, and, having a plan, set goals. When we hear set goals, some of us think we have to start planning 20 years. If all you can do is plan for each day, please do so. You will do yourself a huge favor. Even if it's just every day, okay, today, what am I going to do? Before you get up, you know that today, this is what and what and what. And even if at the end of the day, you don't fulfill everything, be thankful. What I'm going to add to that is celebrate, every small victory. It's so easy to focus on, I didn't do this one today, I didn't achieve this one. I failed. This is what I set out to do and I didn't do it. It's so easy to focus on, the things that you have gone wrong. But learn to celebrate the few that have gone right, even if it's 1 out of 10. Focus on that one, and then you will notice that you gain the strength and the courage to be able to tackle the other 9 that didn't go so well. So celebrate every little victory. Celebrate every little victory. So before we go, because we've come to the end of this episode and we do not have any more time. My fellow discussants have done amazing. They are, valid points. It's been quite a robust discussion. I'm just going to say to a woman with disability out there that in light of the recently celebrated International Women's Day, we are talking about equity, making sure that each person has a platform and is given the necessary requirements to help them achieve their fullest potential. But for many of us here, many of us have missed out on opportunities because we were not even ready for them. So it's all okay and good to talk about equity, but are you ready for those opportunities? Are you working on yourself, developing yourself, identifying those things that can easily trip you up and, deny you those opportunities? Are you finding ways to grow so that when those opportunities come, you are ready for them? You're able to step up and say, this is me. I'm okay. I can handle this. So please, personal leadership, whatever change you require, no matter how you complain about Nigeria, it has to start with you. Start with yourself in the small sphere you have, where you are, that small place where they put you. Start there. When you start there, you will start influencing people, and then before you know it, it goes wide. So I want to say thank you to all the ladies who have joined me here today to be a part of this, program. And I hope that someone out there has learned something. I believe that as we listen and watch this video, you will begin to think again about the direction in which your life is going. I want to thank our online audience. Thank you for staying tuned, for listening to us. We look forward to your comments, suggestions, and any questions you might have. And I want to also mention once again that we welcome your support, whether financial or your presence. Any questions you have, suggestions that can help us improve. And I'd also like you to, reach out to any of us here, any of the co-hosts, or send a mail to our inbox. Our email address will scroll on the screen, or reach out to us via our Facebook page, Bold Hearts Initiative, and we'll be sure to get back to you. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's unmute our microphones and just say bye-bye. It's been an amazing episode. So please, let's just say bye-bye to our audience for being here with us. So thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Bold TV.